African parents are never wrong.
Never wrong.
They
And they will
never
never apologize. Never. They will try your sponge than to apologize.
African parents enter bush or apologize. Bush.
They say, how many bush went?
Hello, people of the red streets of YouTube. My name is Aimee. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ignore the video bummer. Focus on me.
Hi guys, so we are here again, and this time bigger and better. So yeah, we have Dami eating cornflakes and using it to pepper us and all of us again. So today we are going to be talking about something that the society, we as Christians, we don't talk about a lot, and it is necessary, it's paramount in dating and parenting. A lot of people think that it's not dating is just dating. Then they see parenting as something that they will learn when they get there. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But is that actually good? Is it okay? Is it nice? So that's what we want to talk about also. So dating, madam of the channel, what's your perspective about dating as a Christian?
I feel like as a Christian, before you get into a relationship, know why you're getting into a relationship. Have a purpose for the relationship you are getting into, because like Miles Monroe says, or like he said rather, that when purpose is not known, abuse will be inevitable. So just know the reason why you're getting into a relationship. Don't get into a relationship to just test the waters, or just because you want to see how it goes, or because everybody is doing it, you too you want to do it. Have a reason why you're getting into a relationship. That's my own view of how.
What's the reason?
What's the reason? So that you're not
as a Christian, you should be. Did you get?
Yeah.
Because we should know what is the reason you should be dating. Why should you be dating?
That's the question. Why should you be dating?
No, yeah.
What's
your view for dating? Yes, that's what I'm asking you now.
Okay.
What is the reason? As you said, there should be reason.
Yeah.
What is
the reason is so that you will not get any stories that touch. I don't want to be somebody's experiment. Just I want to be the one that you are using to test, and at the end you now say, okay, I don't think you're the one, but I want to.
But I feel like in the end, you cannot just meet someone and feel like that's supposed to be bad. I feel like even in Christian dating, that courtship period, that's when you know if this person is okay for you. And you say the same period, the process in that this food is empty.
This must be
it's still that same process. That's time you pray and see if you guys, because someone tells you like you don't pray, the answer might not just come immediately. It's during that courtship period, you know, is this person for me? And everything.
Okay, so you don't.
So you will still the waters will still be tested.
Yes, waters will still be tested, but then.
Am I supposed to be in this video?
I feel like a lot of people go in to test the waters. If you end up being the one that they are testing, it's a problem. Me, I don't want to be the that's the person's business. But right now, the extent that I've gotten to, I don't want to be the trial and error person. You get? I want to come when you know that okay, you are ready.
Yes, and I feel like when you get to a certain stage, before you start dating, you guys will be friends first.
Yes.
So that process, you can do your prayer and get into like, can I end up with this person? So that's at the friendship stage.
Why does it sound like we are dodging something? That people feel like we are fighting that marriage talk.
Marriage,
so I want to ask. I don't talk moderator, but I'm not moderator. So I want to ask you now.
Okay.
So are we just supposed to like? For me, I feel like there should be a profound reason to enter into it. In fact, it's even I don't know whether it's the word dating that used to shake me when they say Christian dating. I'm like, I don't get it. Are we trying to say Christian courtship? Because we all know that courtship leads to marriage.
Yes, courtship.
Yeah. So is it that because if we say Christian dating, it looks like I can jump and test from one place to the other till I find the one, you know, the one God says. What is supposed to be in place before I should say, oh, this person and I were courting to get married?
Can I answer that?
Yes.
I think for I'll use myself as an example. If I want to date somebody, my reason is because I want to get married, and there are things that should be in place before I would think of getting into that relationship that will lead to marriage.
Okay, in place, is it in terms of is it financial?
Finance must be there. Like it's like the grand.
Those things.
Yeah, I think the knowledge of it. Because I think those are the two basic things. Because for you to cope with someone, you need a lot of you need to be mentally ready for it. Then you need money too, because you people will not go and be drinking garri.
No, the price of pampers now.
Tell me about it.
5,000 something.
For which one? My nephew used that big one. I think it's up to 10K.
The way children will not be drinking
Yes,
milk.
that big one. Then the milk he used is 29,000.
You're not taking care of a child. Baby,
yes,
You don't know.
Children's things are so expensive.
You cannot take care of a child.
You don't want to try it. You don't want to be.
And you know, children will not be like, oh, my parents don't have money, let me not cry too much. I open my put food inside. So there are a lot of things that should be in place. Then I think when I'm mentally ready, then I'm not just going to walk on the street and just see one sister and just like, the Lord said. I'm going to start friendship, because from friendship you know if this person is for you. Then you can now step it up and move.
So that this is the thing that is scatter my head. So if I enter for friendship, I'm like, it's like this person is okay. But at that point, people are not dating yet.
Yes.
You've not made it official. So I will have a lot. You have a lot of friends with that. You work out.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, but I think you should be focused too.
Yes.
Okay.
You should not just go
and
like,
you
let me
values,
be.
You know what you're looking for.
Yes,
exactly.
That's like the most. You know yourself. You know, like, okay, this person. When you see someone that is outside what you want, you're not going for it.
Okay. For me, you know, all of us have, you know, different. For me, basically, I got to a point where I said, I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I like. I know what I'm comfortable with. Then Jesus is not saying what you want is not necessarily bad in itself, but is what I want for you in the purpose of fulfilling what He wants that matter to God.
Yes.
I know what I like, because have you met me? The hanger
Fine,
straight is the orange.
Man,
Brother.
you have to be fun. Like,
And you know, that's it.
I know. I'm sorry. You're beautiful.
So everything, come on, in my life, everything is beautiful.
And that's why we have many broken homes today.
Yes.
Because many don't marry for, it's not, some people marry for just the physical things, money.
Yes.
But then you need to find purpose in what you're doing.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. That's why many homes are broken. Because after this beauty will fade away.
Yeah, true.
Money can go anytime. But then that potential will still be there. Like, what can this person do? What can we do together? And that's just
Yes.
But when I thought of the value what value do I, because necessarily, or how do they speak that English again? When a man says, what do you bring to the table? For me, a sensible man is not necessarily just financial. It's not financial support. Am I speaking for the guys too? Is what value?
Yes.
How much mental this thing can you carry? How much are you able to be homely about certain things? And when we are saying homely, we are not really dating back to the African parents or trying to be a slave or something. But then if I bring something about business, how versatile are you in this? How can you keep up with stuff? But even when I say I like something, or I'm like, oh, this is what I'm looking for in someone, I'm like, I found someone that their values actually match to mine.
Yes.
But then God is saying that it's not about what I want is really in the view for God, but it's about what has been written in the books about me that I'm supposed to fulfill with the person God has kept for me. So if I don't even know the will of God for me, I'm not sure courtship should be in view.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're simply saying that a person has to find purpose before you start thinking about
Find purpose in God. always. That is it.
Okay. I would like to say some people can find purpose with a partner.
Okay.
What I'm saying.
No, okay. I don't.
What I'm saying.
100% agree.
Yes.
I feel like you find your own personal purpose,
and
the other person
joint
find their
purpose.
There's
too.
joint
Then
purpose.
exactly the way you come.
What I'm saying, you know some persons and they already know their purpose and they could there's this intuitive
Yes.
to sense what your purpose are.
Okay.
I believe because of what you are passionate about, and they will see that okay, this person is a match for me.
Okay.
So they will now help you to find your purpose in alignment to the joint purpose. I don't know if you get that.
I get that, but I don't think you used the right words. You said they will now help you to find it.
They will just be like they will guide you to find your purpose.
Because I don't. Can
It's
somebody
as
help
if
you?
everybody should be finding their purpose.
You
They
should
will
find
meet
your
at
purpose.
where
Yeah.
the
Yes,
road where
get
we
to
are
achieve.
going.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes, but you know everything will not go the normal way.
No,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like other people will not be feel left out. So in case where you don't know where your purpose is, sometimes I'm not saying all the time. Then you said something about how what you bring to the table.
Yes.
This thing came to my mind. Men generally, we are very not generally, like I said, we don't know how to manage things. So
Finally.
is the truth.
Say that before.
So we don't know how to manage things. We are very scattered, and I would not go and date a woman planning to go into marriage with someone that cannot accumulate or gather my wealth, that cannot help me to be composed. It will be a disaster. So I will look out for someone like what are you bringing to the table? It's not necessarily that I will have to provide all the money. You too, you can bring money. It's fine. It's a joint skinny corn. But what it is that if I bring money, you are supposed to help me. You are my helpmate, right?
Yes.
How are you going to help me to manage this money? I don't know how to plan my spendings for the month. You could help me plan it and say, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you. I'll be proud that like I have been able to save 5 million naira because of my baby and all of that. So it's something that you should add value to my life in as much as I add value. It's a mutual relationship.
So courtship now in general, what we're saying is that you should know, because you cannot just go to a bus station and say, let me enter any bus and see where
I would like
it's going.
Especially for ladies, you have to have a sense of where you are going before you allow yourself to join
everybody.
Yes, I know, but I feel like it's most important
for ladies. Because any man can come and just carry you and go and dump you in his house.
And you find out
and
that
the man will be living his
just
life.
Yes, he's still fulfilling his own purpose, but you are
just there.
And I feel like
wasting.
the age range is so when you get to for we girls, I don't know how it works for you guys, but then being in Africa, the age range of what is expected as a lady, you know, you have all the requirements. They feel that when you've gotten to this certain age now, the man that they said you should avoid when you were a child, all of a sudden becomes compulsory.
Exactly.
to come back with you. So how do you guys relate that? Should there be anything like, you know, an age? You know when they'll say age like girls.
I know they say.
Okay. I think there's something I usually talk about. I talk about sex education a lot.
Okay.
So I think it has to do with sex education, and it's not just for girls.
Yeah.
It also happens for the guys too. We should learn how to talk to our children. I think we are already venturing into the other topic now. We should learn to talk to our children about sex at a very early stage. I always give an analogy of a child. He was 13. Let's give him a name, Jason. And Jason was on his computer and he was playing game, and the dad came into his room and said, Jason, I have something to tell. I want us to talk about something. And Jason was still busy. He wanted to maybe end that game before he could answer his dad. But said, Jason, it is very serious, I need to talk to you. Jason was still there. And the father now finally said, I want us to talk about sex. I think he finished, ended the game and turned to his dad and said, what do you want to know about sex? guessing he's 13 years old.
Of course, they are more enlightened than we think.
He's asking his dad, what do you want to know? Let me tell you. What do you want to know? Let me tell you. So, at those points when parents feel they are not safe, someone is giving them another information. Force. If you don't give them, they will get it somewhere else. So, as parents, I think at a very early stage, I wrote something on my Instagram. You can go and check it out. Oga Educator. About how we should teach our children, when you're teaching about sex education, you teach them how to call every body part by the name. Don't teach them any other thing. There was a woman that told her daughter, "This is your flower. Don't allow anybody to touch your flower." And the girl was going with that notion. There was a particular day the mom was busy, and the girl ran to the mom. "Mommy, someone is trying to touch my flower. Is it not flower? Go and play." And that's how the girl came back abused. So we should learn to talk to our children at a very early stage about sex. If you talk to your children about sex and tell them why you should not have sex at this young age, I think they will grow up with that mentality, knowing when to go into a relationship.
Yes, very important, because African parents shy away from talking about it.
A lot of things.
They shy. They don't.
Why wouldn't they? Did they have the discussion with their own parents? Why do you want to stress
yes,
them?
that's why we need to learn.
That's why it's repeating
yes,
itself.
it's a cycle.
That's why.
Okay, I think we are going to...
Let's we're gonna over. Please, how did it go? As a younger child?
Yeah, I think it was with my mom. My dad was just pitching in, certain situations. He would just drop in one. But my mom just kind of like sat me down. I don't want to say what I was doing. My mom just kind of sat me down and, just put everything out there. What you should know, what you should be careful of. Take care of yourself. Don't let this happen. You have time. Be a child, but be careful.
That's beautiful.
That's very
My
beautiful.
mom
Actually,
actually...
it does happen.
How old were you?
That was 11.
Oh.
Because my mom is this. She's not a reserved person. Everything she says that it is. So when she saw that my time of the month, so that was
time of the month thing is usually when
but it didn't come as how parents say it as one. Their parents are sitting their children down to have this discussion, but then their parents are saying, if you gotta carry Bele and come back to this house,
another thing is, I did a research when I was in school. I went to a medical class and did a survey for ladies only. When you had your first period and your mom got to know about it, what was the advice she gave? How did she teach you? And a lot of them they'll be like,
you slept with somebody. Oh, my auntie, you slept with somebody. I don't know how the blood is coming. You slept with somebody. And then she now started talking about sex.
Yeah, a lot of them they'll be like,
what's that?
You're not human.
She said,
okay.
That was
in primary school.
That was what prompted the discussion.
No,
I even eat it because I don't know why the blood was coming out.
No, I think I had a little bit I grew up very weird, so I had late experiences because I had my period when I was a grown up. I was not a child at all. I was an adult.
Yeah, no.
So I already saw people. Me and my man don't talk this kind of talk. Everything is a warning because I grew up in a very orthodox family where Jesus is the key.
Yeah.
Jesus is the key.
It's not
Jesus is the master key. So it wasn't like that of sitting down to. It's warning.
Yeah, it's warning. A lot of people they'll get this when the mom notice, they'll be like, now you're not a woman. If a man touch you, carry belly. They did not exhaustively say. And sometimes, let's say a naive child, because the child is actually naive. People get to puberty at 10. She's working in the. They are going in the market, and maybe a man touch them like this. Like, hey, that's how we now get pregnant, and all of that. People could be that naive.
But let's be honest. Children are not as naive as we think.
For now, I'm just saying. But people could be actually that naive.
I remember the kind of children I grew up with. they knew a lot, a whole lot.
Because
the
society was teaching them.
So much.
Especially now that our children are exposed to social
Even the
media
cartoons
and
they watch.
the cartoons these days are
The
not.
movies they
that can
watch.
just be pun intended even without you
You're
trying.
teaching them
Yeah.
how to
Joking.
kiss and do things.
Yes, and they tell them that it's very normal.
it's very normal.
So they are not as
As a parent, it is advisable that before you give your child any cartoon to watch, watch it first.
Parents have a lot. It's just one site. They will just sit
Yes.
once.
Just-
But now,
That's
this is
it.
it. We as young people, as much as we want to claim that, oh, young people now we are woke, we're not even putting ourselves in Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen Q, all the generators. We are just separating ourselves. But then, we young people, if we're not careful, we'll become the parents we criticize so much.
Exactly. I feel like
Our young people are not, let's not lie, most of our young people are not teachable.
I feel like we're going to
that
be
thing
worse.
the most is that
than-
when you realize that you messed up so much, so now you don't have to put all those
All the efforts
restrictions on your
to
children, like
restrict
don't
your
do
own
this,
child.
and then they also do the same thing.
Exactly. Because we did
Because
not
the-
listen to our parents when they begged us to listen.
So you want them to do the same.
The world right now is not the way it was then. Now it's even way worse than our parents.
I'm telling you.
So now you have to gather more muscle
As
than
in
the
more
parents
momentum.
had.
Plenty Jesus.
Because
With
the
plenty
children-
prayers. Before you get
Plenty
the child,
prayers.
decree this child you are not going to be decree from now. Even
you
if
would
you
decree do it stomach and when they say I called you forth.
yes, do it now. Start from today.
Collect those things that are not.
There was this funny
It's not
stuff
just about
on
talking.
Twitter that they said, how many children do you want to have? Then the guy posted something and the girl posted something, and it was true. It was very funny, but then I found it was so true and real. The girl said, I want a girl that is a girl, and I want a boy that is a boy.
Because in the world that we live in now,
my God.
Like I feel like children will be so confused. The children of this they
We
will
have
be so
he,
confused.
them,
yeah,
us,
us.
they, she, they.
I am a day.
I am a they. Don't address.
Please.
And there are some that they'll tell you, I don't conform to any of this.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
Even every gender now has male, female, others.
Others.
Yes,
It's
others.
so, it's so
Others.
bad. Like,
If others, if they could be that open, you see male, females, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transsexual, pansexual, sensual, they'll not add others. But God only created male and female. Where now for break all this one? How now take download them?
So see, God, as people that are aspiring to be parents, I feel like we have a lot of duty, and I feel like we were too hard on our parents. Daddy, mommy, I apologize, but child, not too say no child.
do safe.
Not too deep, but then I feel like we're too hard for our parents because if they say don't, they say don't do this one. You have reached, where they.
You'll be like, nope, you go tell me what I go do.
Comrade, you cannot be coming to me like that.
Not to touch the apple. I did not say anything.
Exactly.
When you talk,
Exactly.
that
Don't do
it.
That's why you need to explain this thing. Why you are telling them not to do it.
Anyway, I feel like the reason why all these things have happened with our parents is the fact that no, it's not even the reason why. I feel like we should forgive our parents, one, and then secondly, realize that your parents too, they were also
They had your best interest at
they were
heart.
growing at the time. They are still growing. That's the
Came from
thing.
it. That they didn't communicate it better.
Yeah.
That is
Right.
how they could.
Because
That's how
most
they
times they
could.
have good intentions.
Yes.
It's just that you as a child,
It's just that-
read it with your little brain.
It's
Yeah.
just and most of the times, it's. I don't want to say it's normal because it was not funny. African parents are never wrong.
Never
Yeah,
wrong.
they
And they will
never
never apologize.
apologize.
Never.
Wrong.
They will try your sponge now to apologize.
African parents enter bush or apologize. Bush.
They say, how many bush went?
My parents were different.
That's you.
My parents were. So most things they say African parents.
Yeah, you can't relate. Yeah.
That's
She's the odd one out. Oyibo Pepe.
I can literally not count how many times my mom has told me sorry.
Oh, my mom does that. My mom has nail sound today because she called me stupid.
My
That's
mom,
serious.
she will discipline you.
Because you're supposed to in the house. And when I reminded her about our own laws, I was like, who is breaking the law? I left her. She said, He's absurd.
Ah.
So like,
No.
Wow. See, you see that we had really different
Yes.
upbringing.
Yeah, and that's why people turn out to be different. Just see diverse people. So it's not appropriate that you just feel that one person should act the same way the other person has. Because everybody has different upbringing,
Do we
different
even
parents.
tolerate each other now?
Yeah.
What do we tolerate as a girl now? If you are talking to us, our eyes, you know, you get it. We don't tolerate a lot of things we find amongst youth now. We don't tolerate. We are not ready to learn. Everyone is so opinionated about what they. Yes.
This is how it should be.
This is how it should be, and we don't want to consider that they don't born me, born you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even who you they born you with self.
It's not even the same.
Hey,
and that's the issue. So
collect-
in marriages
Yeah.
because we are coming from two different backgrounds.
One thing we need to talk about is this parenting thing is broad. Because do you know that parents can have 2 children in the house and they expect all the children that they have to be the same way, to act the same way, and that's not right, because all your children have different temperaments when they are born, and that's how
give
God
your parents
created.
award though. Imagine being a magician. Imagine borning 8 children. You know,
Seven.
you download book
And 8.
to study each of them.
Yeah,
Imagine the amount of.
I don't even feel like it's not so much of a difficult thing. Just allow each of your children to be, because how may I grow up? I'm introverted, but some people may not know. I'm a very introverted person. I like my space. Don't come into my space. Most times I just like to be alone, where everybody's gathered, but that's when I want to be somewhere else. I just want to be in the room. Don't come and disturb me, because that's how I recharge. Do you understand? But my parents could not. They did not understand, and I could not explain.
My mother's one is
So hard. For parents, we that are coming parents, and I'm sure young people are watching this, realize that you are going to give birth to different people. Don't expect that all your children are going to act the same way. It's not going to be possible. Some will be extroverted, some will be introverted. If you see a child that is introverted, let the child be. Don't want to change that child to be like your other child. Stop making comments like, why are you not like this one? Why are you not like, it's not right. Allow your child. Don't compare your children. It's wrong. It reduces their self-esteem. That's why most children, introverted ones most especially, because I am, so I can speak for introverted people. Most of them, the reason why they become very they have low self-esteem is because, and the reason why most of those kind of people can get sexually abused and not tell anybody is because they now keep to themselves.
Yes, true.
Normally they keep to themselves, but they find out that you are judging them exactly. So that's the more reason why they will keep to themselves.
You're going
So
to
most
judge
of
them
those
more
people
if they feel.
are always abused most times. I'm not saying all of them, but most times they are the ones that keep to themselves.
Let's
and are
also
not
talk
able
about
to.
the part of being the child and what we suffered from. God forgive me, it's not suffered. Sorry. what we went through from growing up. Let's also talk about aspect of being children and not obeying your parents in the law. Ephesians chapter. Because as children, I mean, we also put our parents through a lot.
Actually.
We put the parents, and the truth is that you, as a child, it gets to that age. I tell them, children are broken into different. See, parenting is, you don't know how difficult it is being a parent to be a parent yourself. You can only succeed in this parenting if God be by your side,
and apart from
and
God
you being
by
by God's side,
yes,
with prayer.
And apart from prayer, I feel like every young person, before you think about having a child, study about parenting. Because you go to school for 5
and
years,
work
4
on
years,
yourself
6
and
years.
character.
You are studying about a course, but you want to get into marriage and raise somebody for the rest of your life, and you learn nothing about it.
True.
I feel like that's why we keep
different age
repeating
of this
the
kids.
same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
And you have to work on yourself
point I was
too.
getting to, that children have different stages.
And
A child from 0 to 5
It's not,
is
you will not bring
different
up that
from
they have
5
to be ready.
When you
It's a
now
lot
have
of
a
work.
child, once a child becomes a teenager, forget about it.
meeting different kind of
Forget about it. For a girl, their hormones start picking up. You start I see small children now, and their parents want to beat them. The girl wants to sit on uncle's lap. The girl wants to do this one, and this. I'm like, Mama, how old are you? I'm 9, I'm 10, but she's jumping. She wants to be with this uncle. She wants to. Then for a boy too, the boy is trying to withdraw to his friends. He wants to start forming clique now. So it takes a lot to parent.
And don't even wait till they're like 9 before. I have like, well, I don't even know them. My cousins, 2 different cousins. One is 8 years old and the other girl is 3. The girl always does this. The girl always rolls on people. She's 3 years old and she knows this thing already. She knows what kissing is. She knows what everything is. She knows, and they do things together. That's 3 and 8 years old. So if you are waiting, my dear, if your child is 1 and can hear, start talking to the child and start, because really these kids these days, what they're exposed to, and it's not just
what kids are exposed to. My God, I've been having this session with parts of. It's a good time to bring it up. I have these kids. I always go around to talk to kids and bring some kids to my circle, right? Because I've always, when I came into the Lord, I'm like, I want to be the adult I needed as a child. I really want to be that person. I'm not saying my parents did not do a good job. They did a great job, but then because of how diverse myself and my siblings are, I needed also, plenty of things. You get it? So that, but then these children, I watch them and I see their parents. I'm like, what are they? What are they? In fact, if I must be more open, I came back and I was parked somewhere. So I noticed that some children were hitting the car, and I'm like, what is wrong with these children? Let me come down and even see. And when I came down, this one of this Naira Marley or something was playing, and I saw a 5-year-old boy with a 3-year-old girl, and the guy was carrying the girl, raising her skirt and holding her from and hitting on himself. And the diving spirit of my mother, the way it entered me.
I mean, Igbo.
But then I'm like, see, I was more pained in my spirit than I believed. I separated the children. Guess what? They were siblings.
Oh my God!
It happens like that. Most of the abuse as
siblings actually.
But then I saw their mother. Their mother was sitting down gisting. The mother was gisting with another woman, having one long serious gossip, and left her children at the middle of the boy. And then I called the boy. I hit the boy. I beat the boy because. Me, strum a lot, spread the word. There are better ways to communicate.
And it's not everybody's a parent.
There are better ways to communicate. Yes, beating and all that one, because I can hit you, still go back and do it. Yeah. But at that point, hitting first for him to stop it. Then we'll start with word of God and other things. But then I spoke to that child. I called the child after hitting the boy. He was scared. Then I called him. I'm like, who taught you this thing? They said he used to see one uncle in their house who used to do it with another auntie in their house. I'm like, I didn't know whether I should slap the mother, because the way it was doing me, I say, Holy Spirit, help me. I'm like, what do you do? Like, what really do you do?
They are siblings, nothing. Leave them alone.
It was now there that the mother now wanted to instigate correction. But then the other children say, na so in the do, and then it was even more painful that they were not in Christ. So I didn't even know where to start. I didn't know where to start. But then we have these experiences with children. In fact, this small time.
Do you know that little child will never know what he was doing? He made me feel like that's the right thing.
Yeah,
I've stayed now to talk to that child, and that's now he's becoming with a lot of prayers. Then I've communicated with some of these children that you will be amazed.
They listen.
What small children, what you people call, kids say the damnedest thing. What you hear children discuss, you'll be asking yourself.
And they said
is this what my parents went through?
With their food chase?
They're saying from the sincerity of that. They don't know that what they're saying is wrong.
There's a lady that works with me, her son. Because like what you do, I was doing that too. I had like I teach them Bible study and they listen, and these kids get broken when they start telling me the things they do. A boy of 13, because of what the world is saying, he got engaged with some certain people, and that's where he just started. This morning, everything he would tell his mother to her face, "Now touch and follow, I go do." And I would just sit there and be looking. I'm like, God, where do I come in with this kid? He said, he'll be saying, I'm just going to sleep with them. You're like, I'm going to sleep with them and leave them. I'm not, do you think I will sleep with you? I will marry this one. At a young age, he'll be telling his mom that when I have money, when I blow, just, mom, why? Because his mommy brought him from Lagos to Abuja. And he'll be like, why did you bring me? I was about to just eat this thing. I was about to get this money now. That's just like, how old?
You see the need for us.
And then he's saying it to the mother. The mother is just there, like, where do I start from?
It's painful.
The work is plenty.
The work is plenty.
Imagine, you see the young people that are doing things that they're doing. Not 17, 18, 19, 20 that are killing their girlfriends. Yes, using them for money.
Rituals.
That's still at 17, 18.
Not just when you see any child doing anything.
Yes, we also are.
As long as you are
there are people you cannot correct their children.
No,
you can't. Hey, my child is my child.
But I think you should do what you can,
yes,
even if you get scolded for it. Do what you can. You know that you have settled your own cost.
Imagine I saw that child and I just turned the blind eye and said, "Don't be me born now." Even some of these children, anytime I'm coming back from work, a lot of them will gather, sisters, and I can't buy something for all of them. But then I sit down, and most of the times when I want to pray in the evening, I'll carry the little ones. We'll walk from here to here. We'll be praying. Even when they don't understand what I'm doing, children have a tendency to copy. So I saw that most of the times when I'm not around, you ask them what they're doing, they're going from here to here, forming prayer, and they're coming from here to here.
Because I same thing has happened to me when I was at home. When I go and pray, I have a younger brother. He's quite small. So when he sees me going to pray, he always comes along to just spy and say, "What's she doing?" So I noticed that there was a day that I was not around, or he didn't know I was around, that he went there to go and do the same thing. Wow. So most times he went there and he knelt down to the same way I knelt down. So most times they watch you and they copy you.
Yes, true.
So whatever you are doing in the presence of a child, just be careful.
I want to show this. Maybe I can put this up. It's one of the most beautiful thing I've seen.
Okay, it's just like, during our fellowship. So there are these small boys, like primary school.
If you look further, you see. Look at this. She's growing.
Yeah. Primary school, they have the children lead prayers.
Whoa.
The boys are in primary school. You remember that boy I pointed at one boy? They have those small boys used to see that they were crossing. They have those boys lead prayers. If these boys should lead prayer, even the spirit in you will obey.
I know. And that's what their parents do. And it still boils down to the fact that it is not, there are a lot of godly parents there.
Yeah,
and their kids don't come out like that. You try everything. But then I would still advise, start praying for me.
Start praying.
There's this lady, I don't know her name, but a lot of men of God talk about her. She's a grandmother. She prayed that none of her grandchildren will not be born with the good. Like, they have to be filled with the Holy Spirit. And in the Benin, they attend Benin's church now. He talks about them. I was like, which one? Like, they said, do you know the labor? This woman sits 17 hours. So you can start now. Start praying for them. We believe God answers our prayers.
And
start praying for them.
Saying this, you know what is coming to my mind is when Abraham paid tithes to Melchizedek. The child in his lungs. He received the blessing even before he was born. As at that time, Isaac was not born.
Yes.
So it's whatever you do now, you can even pray for your grandchildren.
Yes, you
mold them to what you want into the
we pray, and
our generation is not supposed to just, and that's what happened to the Israelites. Because remember the Bible said, like, just because the ones that know God, they didn't pass the information.
Yeah,
so that's why so you need to pray about it. Keep on, but make sure your children know the reason why they have to
train. Us now, we know better that even while we are training a child, you see this communication thing. Even as grown adults, I still find people in courtship, relationship, it's hard to communicate. If something is worried, don't worry. Don't worry.
I'll be fine.
I'm fine.
Please.
What?
I know they read minds.
Mickey. Because if you ask me, sometimes most of the time before, I just feel that, okay, you should have sense. Why are you stressing me?
Think it's in the spirit.
Spiritual.